Well, let's just go and see what we get. Hello, friends. Look at this. These are Moment's new day bags and organizers, all right? They're designed to be your new wherever you need to work bags. Hi, I am Chase Reeves. I review products and I help people with their baggage here on planet Earth. You can find more backpacks at matterful.co, and you can support me on Patreon for extra content. Thanks, patrons. Now, you might know Moment from some of their Kickstarters, but these are their first backpacks and totes, and I'll tell you exactly what I think about them in just a moment, after I tell you what they were kind of designed for. There's two main bags, all right? A backpack, which is available in two sizes, and what I call a tech tote, okay? They're simple, clean day bags with organizational upgrades for modern life, and surprisingly comfortable straps, at least on the backpack. And then there are the organizer pouches, okay? 3 options to choose from. They're quite interesting. I think they're great options. We'll go into depth on these shortly. Now, they say this whole system is designed for your how you work, like modern life. Then in the time of the novel coronavirus, how is it that you get work done? By the way, a video coming about work from home stuff. Actually, not work from home, remote work. It's like, anyways, these are supposed to be like, here I have everything that I need for my modern tech digital farmer life. They use recycled materials where possible. It's really nice feeling stuff throughout, including the organizer pockets, like the kinds of things that they're using here as their, like, the material palette here, actually, they did a damn good job with. I love the way that the bag materials feel when empty. It's a nice, dense material. It's recycled 600D nylon Codra. It has a nice little density to it without having to be like a waxed canvas. It's got nice durability, water resistance properties. They use some stretch fabric and some stretch mesh for the inner organization pockets, a 210D nylon oxlin material on some of the pockets as well. That feels nice. I think that's this kind of like stretchy, thick sort of, this is good stuff. This, like, I saw it with their slings too. They just released a sling a little while ago. Moment making some moves at the moment. YKK racket coil AquaGuard zips. The zip pulls are knotted paracords. Tiny little zipper tab with the paracord here. It's easy, and it's easy to fix and replace. It's easy to get some of this stuff in case any of these knots come out, but none have for me. Like a little update, a little moment, like one moment on this bag from Moment are these metal guys here. It's just like a little one step above, right? Same with this. Anyways, I'll talk to you about this in a second. Okay, as I said, the backpack is available in 2 sizes, a 21 liter and a 17 liter. The 21 liter is just barely big enough for my daily rig, and it's a little too tight for me, I think. But if you have a more minimal carry, like either of, especially if you're smaller and you have a more minimal carry, go over here. But I think if you have an average to large frame, you're gonna wanna go for the 21 liter. The reason why is that when things get overpacked in any bag, it gets kind of cumbersome to use, and I noticed that a lot with these. What do you think about this aesthetic here? I think it's quite nice. It's basic, it's simple, it's clean, right? But it has a little bit edge to it, a little bit something more. It's a little bit Assassin's Creed, right? A little bit Legolas for some reason. These bonded edges here make it really nice. No seams. It ends up feeling a lot more special than you'd think it would. So back to this strap. Nice little details in how this strap just has this little flap of foreskin that comes down and just covers it right up. It's all right, just clean it occasionally. The way that the handle is sort of angled in how it's sewn in here. Lots of nice little details here, right? I think some of you aren't going to love the like water. Some of you are gonna absolutely love the way that this like slides, smooth panel slides around, and some of you can be like, I don't like it. But this is ultimately a very sexy way of building in that water bottle pocket, which, by the way, easy to fit in, my big old 750 mil Camelback. You can fit a little bit bigger in there, but this 750 mil is like right where you want to be for this. It's nice and locked in. It's not going to fall out because, as I'm going to show you here, you have this vertical zip pocket which you can access while it's on your body. Okay, but your water bottle's down here, so you don't want it to fall out, right? So you want something that's gonna be nice and deep in there. Water bottle concerns with Chase Reeves. Ultimately, it looks good on. Again, this is kind of a simple, basic but upgraded. I think they did a good job with the design. Nice job, a moment. Okay, comfort. This is a surprisingly comfortable backpack strap. Now, I actually had a little bit of issue with it, and I still do in some ways, because it's a much wider strap, and the padding in there is quite rigid, which is what makes it so comfortable. It distributes that weight over a wide area of your body, right? Thanks, moment. But as I'm used to, oftentimes, I mean, half the time I have my backpack, I'm just holding it by a handle or a strap, because I'm like going to a different part of my house, or like I'm occasionally going to the cafe or going to a park. But half the time I end up, unless I'm really hoofing it around, I'm just carrying it like with a child in the other hand, like some Tupperware and shit. And then like this is like this. That's the best I'm gonna get. And this handle's kind of wide for that. Ridge is down in here. So you do get some good breathability. I think that you can go even further, like Boundary Supply Errant. That's one of the bags I'll compare this to here towards the end. It's like this really intense, very, very breathable back panel. And I think some people are like, this is a techie enough bag for people to be like actually into that. But I actually really like it when a bag stays simple. We're out of simple territory here, even though this is designed really well, so it feels simple when you're using it. It has like simple design features, but I think we're in the realm of a tech bag. This handle is really quite nice. I don't know why I almost do a voice. Like, you have to understand, when I'm listening to my voice very loud in my headphones, it's always an option that I might just go into character, because what am I doing with my time besides learning about how much our species is destined for destruction and trying to soldier on regardless because I have children? So the handle ends up feeling really like one of my favorite kinds of designed things in soft goods, where we're using regular stuff we have lying around the prototype factory or whatever. It's just webbing, but it's folded in a way and over itself and then sewn down the middle to where it's like, see how it stays up like that? All in all, the comfort on this thing is stronger than I thought it was going to be. Like, I wasn't expecting to be wowed by, the strap or something like that. But you end up noticing it, because if you fill this up with some heavy shit, you're going to notice and be thankful for that strap. Very simple, minimal stitching for like a logo on the outside here. M-TW in the same color that the fabric is. And also a nice little detail up here by the water bottle. We have this little bar tack and like a triangle function of its design. Nice little, I think that's where we're getting these little moments of like, it's a moment. There it is again, another moment of delight. Thanks, moment. Now, what about the capacity for the bag? All right, we've got a zipper that goes all the way around. Again, these are YKKs, nice little zip pulls. And then you open it up. It opens farther on one side than the other, okay? Because that's where our water bottle pocket is. You've got a big old meshy pocket up front. And here's how mine is set up. It is a mess because I'm like just right at the edges of fitting all my stuff in. And the camera cube fits my EOS R perfectly, but I can't fit my EOS R and my Rode Smart Mic, so this has to just like float around with my Bluetooth headphones in here. It is a sad and chumbly sort of organization structure as far as I'm concerned in my personal life, not my best work, but I will have you know that I have done worse, my friend, and lived with it for longer than you would even be able to consider. It's just a simple, open, made for organizer pouches kind of cavity, all right? There's one meshed zip pocket up top. The weight of whatever you put in there will be tugging down off the edge, right? So you have this thing where you end up leaving one of your zips up like this. You're open here and you've got the camera, but if you need to get back there, you end up having to put this thing on the ground to open it right up. You can also get at it like this, where you leave just a little bit on the top and flap it down just a little bit. You've got the camera cube right here and then some space to the left. Laptop compartment is this back guy, right, where we have a water-sealed zip over here. And then you've got this nice, it's sort of like a medium of the road, rigid kind of panel. Next version of this, they could just put a thicker panel in here and it would feel more heavy duty. I think they're intentionally going for a kind of a softer, like a middle, like not that different than your old JanSport kind of vibe, right? But it's enough padding and more padding than your old JanSport for your laptop, for example, right? Then you have these pockets up at the top, 2 pen holders and a couple fudgy pockets on the outside. Thanks, Moment. Now, when I put my stuff in here, like this, I wish had a bit more dimension. It is perfect for sliding in my laptop, my 16-inch MacBook Pro. Just slide perfect. But if I wanted to also throw in my iPad or a book or something like that, right? A thin but maybe wide book, something like this pocket gets over-rocked a little easily. And I think that would be helpful in this bag because this is like this main capacity ends up being kind of jumbly when you have all your stuff just kind of thrown in there. It'd be nice to be able to put some vertical stuff out here that had some girth. Some of you know what I'm talking about. But this zipper's great. This is actually, to me, this is the quickest access on this whole bag. You have this nice horseshoe, so you have no corners to get stuck in. That's awesome. It does have to go all the way down to the corner to get up. And then you've got these pockets right here. That's where my phone goes. Right there, the top right, because that's the first place that I actually have access to on this bag from my feet and most of the places that I'm accessing it. We're going to talk about this front pocket and on-body access in a moment. My 16-inch MacBook Pro, by the way, MacBook Pro, fits into the 17-liter as well as the 21-liter. It's right at the edges of the 17-liter. Okay, you know what's great for putting in these pockets right here? I could hear you. Hey, Chase, what can I put in there? I'll tell you what you could put in there. Your business cards. Man, that's right. You could get business cards. Did you know that business cards are a valuable way of contacting other people? Just give them a business card. Hey, how will I get in touch with that guy? Hey, what's this person's deal? Hey, who's that lady? Well, here you go, a business card. And for 10 of you, I am going to design and create a business card for, and you are going to get 50 business cards for $50. Click the link in the description. The first 10 of you who sign up are going to get it. I've got a survey that you're going to have to answer, and that's what I'm going to use to design your business cards. You're not going to get that. I'm just going to make you business cards. They're just going to show up at your house. Do you understand? And when you get them, you can put them right in here and occasionally pull them out and going like, hey, here you go. Would you like to know who I am? Well, now you can put me in your pocket. Take me wherever you go. Contact me. In the time of coronavirus, it's actually quite hard to make friends. Maybe you're going about it all wrong. Business cards! In all seriousness, you can click the link in the description to buy 50 business cards for $50. Designed by Chase Reeves, you will not get any feedback or review. You will just get the business cards delivered to your house. Thanks for your business. Cards. Thanks for your business cards. And here, now let's get into the front vertical zip of this. A pocket that I have a kind of a love-hate relationship with. I've seen this on lots of bags before where you have this great space that just gets eaten up into when it is packed out on the inside of the bag. That happens here. That's what you would expect to happen. You can still fit any thin vertical things, like you've got a pen, you've got a little area up against the front of the bag so you can put your pens in and stuff like that. You've got a nice little stretchy mesh pocket over here so you can put your hotel key and your glasses, right? There's even a zipped pocket inside to keep anything that you know you're gonna need, but you want it to stay against one of the sides, because what's going to happen is, you also have these two bigger pouches. Like, for instance, I have this wallet from Z-Packs. I'll link to this below. Nice little minimal tri-fold wallet, which I just use as like keeping random stuff in, like $1 or $2, and it fits perfectly in there. And I just have it. It's just, I don't have to think about it. It's just there. It's never in my way. It's thin and things like that. This pocket's great for. And the organization in here is great for as well. It's when you have, like, one of the things I wished I had on this bag was a top quick access pocket that was sort of pouchy in some way, like the front pocket of the old JanSports that has that dimension in it. You just throwing stuff in, and it ends up being, for me, from a usability perspective, more useful because I have visibility on, like, I can see what's going on. Low visibility here, but also not a lot of dimension built in. So at the bottom, I ended up just throwing, like, this is where my key fob goes, an extra hair tie. Random stuff will end up being down here, and you just get used to it. That's like it's like a feature. It's not a bug. It's a feature. You just put stuff here. You know you're going to be able to get to it, right? You could also go with, for example, this is their their mini organizer pouch. I'll show you all these in just a second. This would be perfect for like organizing some stuff, throwing it in there. The thing is like anytime you go for those things, you have to unzip this, pull out the pouch, unzip this, now you've got your stuff. So it adds another step. And I am counting my steps. It is organized and designed for on-body access over your left shoulder, right? Here I can actually see pretty good. It says just like the Evergoods CPL. Video coming up on the updates of those shortly. You've got good little visibility to it when it's on you like this. You just have to remember, and you can teach yourself to do this, you just have to remember you leave it on your left arm, which for me is like remembering that I'm a woman. But I am indeed a man. And I leave my bag on my right shoulder for some reason. And this is teaching me. It's become my teacher. And now I have another thing to practice. But seriously, you can absolutely learn how to do it. If you are doing a lot of quick access, this is what you're going to have to get used to. I don't live like that very much. I'm like, get to the cafe, I have the bag next to me. And this actually isn't my favorite way of, because we don't have a handle on this side. This is right where, this is like the Evergoods bag, for instance, which is totally oriented the same way. Handle on this side, and for some reason I end up grabbing that and orienting the bag sideways a lot. This is some real inside baseball about what nerds think about when they don't have a lot of friends, and they instead think about what's the best way to carry the shit from point A to point B. But in use, my hunch is on this, some of you are going to feel the tightness of this over time. So notice that this bag works really well when it's not overpacked. It's on you, bub. So feedback on the overall use of this bag. I personally wish there was like one other quick accessy type of thing, but I do appreciate that there's not another zipper somewhere. I like that it's actually clean. So I'm sort of torn on that. I really love the minimal, slick aesthetic of this, how simple and clean it is, but size-wise, it's actually a little too tight for me for enjoying myself every single day or feeling like I can just rock off and handle whatever. It's just a little bit, for instance, less protective than I've been recently using the GoRuck GR1. I've fallen back in love with that thing because it was there and I needed to switch into something, and I can fit stuff easily. It's big enough and it's really durable, and I've just loved just rucking that thing around from the handle. I mostly just end up using the handle, and then when you slide it on, I mean, it's a heavy bag. This is much lighter weight than that. And I guess right now I'm kind of into that big, durable, heavy sort of quality. All my stuff's inside. This is a little more, I won't say fragile, I'll say, and I won't even say delicate, I'll just say it's like it's just got less padding around it. It's meant to be looking like just a low-key, like, hey man, you got this bag for $45 at Walmart. Oh, neat. It's like Target, like Zoomies or whatever. But inside, you've got your badass camera. That sort of slickness is hard to find. So a lot of you, especially with a smaller camera setup, if you had a Micro Four Thirds camera setup, you're gonna love this. Let's talk about the camera. The camera insert does turn this into a stealthy, padded little camera bag with decent weather protection, low-key styling. But the camera cube is A, not quite suitable for what I would call bigger rigs, and B, it is quite large for the capacity of the bag. In even the 21-liter option, it takes up quite a bunch of the space, which is like, yeah, that's what your camera does. What's good about this is it takes up the space, but then it leaves you like a kind of just a very chill, easy to organize, like their pouches are designed to fit right in here. There's space left over on the side and on the top of the camera cube. It's designed to be able to fit all three of their pouches, the tech pouch, the mini pouch, and the battery organizer with a little space on top. As I said, the depth of the camera cube is just tiny bit too shallow for my Rode video mic, but it's perfect depth for my EOS R and the 15 to 35 millimeter lens, which, by the way, this camera has changed my life. I know there's a bunch of cameras that's come out since then. I know there's a lot of videos that I haven't started watching yet on like the R5 and like, oh, but dude, this EOS R with a 15 to 35 millimeter Canon, can I just tell you, this camera changed my life. Really nice, rigorous separators and Velcro bits here. It's nylon Velex Velcro, including little meshy spots for filters. I did notice that when I had my bag, like when there was a lot of stuff in here, if I ever brought that zipper down here, it could sometimes get hard to zip that back up. You really don't want to overpack this bag. This zipper, especially when I had my camera in here, because of the way this lip comes down maybe, or because it's just like I was just at capacity. But look at that, like when you're not actually bursting at the seams, this thing works really great. So for minimal carry, to have tech stylings, like modern styling, but in a kind of basic, oh, you see what I'm saying? It's kind of sexy. What's up, girl? What's your name? Where you come from? Who's your daddy? The camera attaches with these little T-bars. They go into these side loops. There's a little bit of wiggle in there, but ultimately it's pretty nice and locked in, right? You can get stuff behind it if you needed to, which is when this really gets hard to zip up. You can use other camera cube organizers, I think. I used this little one from Banana. I like that because my whole kit fits inside of it quite well. But speaking of other organizers, let's talk about their tech pouches. Now, this is like, even if you're not interested in the bags, this is kind of fun. You got the big guy, the camera battery guy, and then the mini, right? This is actually designed to fit inside of here, so you can have like a little essentials kit, almost like a wallet inside of there. My sort of quick take on this is what you have this side pouch, right? The zippered thing where it actually has dimension built into it. You put that is like a nice little like storage for the kinds of things you need, but you don't want to see out and about all the time. This is like sort of like my mom's purse bag right now. That section right there, a bunch of cables, like a lighter, one of my business card, things like that. Not my business card, I mean my business credit card. I keep my business cards in my front left pocket because you never know when you need to give one out. It's got this flappy dappy inside, okay? And then you've got somewhat, like just a tiny little bit of extra space on this pocket by the big mesh that you could fit this guy in here. But what I notice is this can be really nice to use, again, when it's not overstuffed. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big elastic suckers right here. So those are your like essentially, like I've got this dongle thing I use all the time, and it's kind of nice because it's out of the way. I wouldn't mind if that was shoved back in one of these though, because I just need it to be quick. You know, I just need to be able to grab it quick, grab and go. But for now, I've been shoving it right there. You've got this nice little flip book kind of feature to see it all, and then some double undies over here. My experience on this guy is it's been kind of tight for me. Like it's perfect. Like if it was a little bit bigger, I can fit my power adapter in for my laptop, right? And so everything that I need comes right out of here, except for there's another little bit of tech stuff that I need like in my pocket or at a quick access, which there isn't a great version of, I was saying on there, except for my favorite is the top of that laptop compartment. So phone and AirPods or earbuds go up there when I need to pull everything out of my pocket. This is just my like on the desk or you know, the counter at the cafe with me when I need to get some work done stuff. This one is the battery one. Okay, it's meant to be like your SD cards up in here, and then this interesting way of doing the batteries where you have, you know, 3 fresh batteries right here. As you pull them out to use them, the dead ones go right behind it. Red is dead. Then there's the mini, which has less padding than both of those, so it's quite floppy, which I kind of like. 2 guys here and then 3 guys over here. Little spot in the middle for a pen maybe. Like you could kind of get away with this as like a travel wallet or something like that. Put the passports in there, but it's not got a lot of organization that's going to be useful for bigger things. It's really sort of like a little, I don't know, like almost like a makeup kit that you would have in your pouch. Pouches really excite me because you can use whatever bag you currently have and all of a sudden have a new way of organizing your daily life. It's like the little things like that can end up mattering quite a bit. So I've got a whole video on tech pouches at the link in the description right now at this time code. All the links are down there for you. Okay, so let's talk about some comparisons to other bags and backpacks here. First of all, we got to think about the Evergoods Civic Half Zip, which is one of my favorites for like just a regular daily bag. bag. Like, just spend $150 or whatever it is. It's like a regular daily bag, but it's way beyond that. It's really well designed, great materials. Love that bag. Lovely everyday interactions just aren't that easy, you know what I mean? So they do a good job. It's very similar aesthetic in all black. I quite enjoy it. What about the Belroy Classic, right? Simple bag. This feels good in comparison. Or the Boundary Supply Errant, which is a bit more techy, a little more intense breathability on the back, similar capacity. But all in all, I think they are contenders. It's not like I could have been a contender. It's like they're real contenders. These are great, thoughtfully designed, delightful to use bags on the daily. They've got their particular size, shape, and function. So if that aligns with the kind of life that you're living, if you are like the way that this front organizer works, if that makes sense to you, you're like, that's totally how I carry, you now know this is a good fit for you. The same with the capacity. I think ultimately it's just they did a good job. Moment did a good job sweating the details and designing something. So good on you, the designers over at Moment. No matter what, when all the dust settles after you've bought a new bag, something like that, right? Is boughten a word? But no matter what, after the dust settles, you're just going to be sitting there with a new bag and the same old life that you had just before you made that purchase. Right? So the hard thing is about enjoying that life, about doing with that life the things that you know you need to be doing, or figuring out what those are, or exploring, coming into a relationship with maybe finding happiness. I mean, I'm speaking to myself here, right? You know, I've struggled with depression my whole life. Right? I'm raising kids. I shouldn't be struggling with depression. I'm making businesses. I shouldn't be struggling. I get to do things. I'm a creative. Yeah, well, it's kind of like a wound, right? It's sort of like a limp you walk with. I think that's what Richard Rohr calls it, Father Richard Rohr. But a bag that works the way you do every day can be a big upgrade to your life. That's awesome. But if you're like well on the road to having lots and lots of bags, and now you're just like looking for the perfect one. Like, I know, I see that hand. Just remember that when all the dust settles, after your new purchase or whatever, you're still left with that feeling of like, oh, yeah, that's right. This is my life that I'm running from. Listen to Ram Dass's Experiments in Truth on Audible. That's a great audiobook. I think you can click the link below to support the channel. You can also go to matterful.co/free bags, and you can sign up there because we're going to be doing a big giveaway when we cross 100,000 subscribers on this channel. Absolutely free to you. You can enter to win. Thanks to my patrons, those of you who feel like you align with my values or we align with each other in some meaningful way. Thank you. You actually make the work that I do feel like there's a future in it, because that has slowly gone up regularly over time. So thanks to all of you. Thanks to Moment for sending these out. This is not a paid review. I got so many questions from the audience about these things that I was like, well, that's definitely going to get reviewed. I'm glad I got away to do it, and I actually tested these out quite a bit. So thanks for sending those out, Moment. And thanks to you for being a literal living human being, a life form. What? How did you do that? Fascinating. Enjoy it. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Bye-bye.